We're live.
All right, everybody, thank you for being here tonight. It's May 18th, 2026. You're at the second commissioners meeting for the month of May. We've got a great agenda here tonight. In attendance, our town engineer, John Strong, maybe for the last time, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Niles Anderegg, our assistant town manager, as well as all 5 commissioners in place, a bunch of celebrities in the room, and especially including our delegate, as well as members of Montgomery County Police, business owners, Chamber of Commerce, the press. I mean, it's all happening here tonight. Oh, but I meant to say, sorry, Wade, I saw that look on your face. Wade Yost, our town manager, down below, coming in digitally. Same thing with Kevin Best, our town attorney. Glad he's here, too. Kevin, wave for everybody. Okay, good job. Oh, there he is. No. Yeah, you don't have to let him in yet. It's good. He's probably doing something. Anyway, so if you don't mind, Alan, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. You know what I'm thinking every time I say the Pledge of Allegiance, besides saying the Pledge of Allegiance, you know what I'm thinking, Niles?
What?
What am I thinking?
Where's the flag?
Oh, yes. We will talk about
Flag
that later.
update coming. All right,
Yes,
good.
yes.
Thank you. Good stuff, guys. All right, so we want to start things off with a public hearing. And I'm not sure if someone's going to pull, are people here to testify?
I don't
guys.
think we have anybody for the public hearing.
Okay.
We can start.
Thanks. If it's just general testimony, that's fine. Otherwise, I need to read my script here. Yeah, got it. Yes. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Right on. All right, very good. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a public hearing on proposed ordinance number 234. The proposed ordinance would amend Section 3G of Appendix B zoning of the Code of the Town of Poolesville by revising the development standards chart for the Village Overlay Zone to add a notation permitting one open, uncovered deck with a railing on each dwelling unit, subject to dimensional requirements, and to authorize a reduced rear setback for such compliant decks. The file for this public hearing contains the following: proposed ordinance number 234. Number 2, notice of the public hearing. Number 3, copies of the May 6, 2026 and May 13, 2026 issues of the Frederick News Post containing the notice of public hearing. Any person wishing to do so may now testify or ask questions of the commissioners, which may be answered today or later by staff, about the proposed ordinance number 234. Before providing your testimony, please state your name and address for the record. Unless otherwise allowed by the commissioners, you will have up to 2 minutes to speak. By the looks of it, we have no one here to testify, and is there no one online as well?
There's not anyone online.
Okay, so we will then declare this public hearing over. The record closes at noon
On
Friday.
Yep.
So for any testimony that wants to come in between now and then, the cutoff is noon on Friday, because that's what time we're closing for the Memorial Day weekend. All right, very good. Thank you for that, everybody. We have presentations tonight, which is awesome. But before we do our presentations, we have one presentation that I wanted to make sure we know tonight. I gave the commissioners a little hint about this, and we said something in the very beginning. But as most of you guys know, this is officially the last meeting that John Strong will be attending in person. And that's hard to believe, because I've sat and stared at you for 20 years.
26.
Thank you. I've only been here for the 20.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes. Yeah, I've only had 20 years of staring at you, right, Wade? And you've sat even longer. And Kevin, you're new to this, so just keep staring. But here we are at the very end of John's time here as he transitions to, I believe you're going to go to virtual?
Virtual, correct.
Yep.
I'm going to pull a Wade Yost.
Oh, wow. Is that what they call this maneuver?
Yeah.
A Yost?
A Yost.
I like how he just switches the attention to you, Wade. Uh-oh.
That would be Yosti.
He's going to pull a Yosti.
Yep.
All right, so in honor of doing so, we actually have a proclamation for John. And I want to read it, but we can go to our usual proclamation positionings, commissioners, if you don't mind, so we can make sure we get a good photo op. with him as well.
Back again, so get a picture of your t-shirt.
Yeah, you're in the middle. That's where we go too.
The backdrop is nice.
Are we standing in front of the map? Is that okay?
However you want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have my glasses on because there's so much here. The print's so fine, as is John's. So, you guys, we don't issue, I know it feels like we issue proclamations every time we have a meeting, but that's not the case. And this is really a very important one because I'm going to read all the reasons why, but these are words on paper and they mean something. But, John, what you've meant to the town over the years, your dedication, your amount of time you've spent here, the way you've learned how to work with such, I don't know how many groups, I mean, you can look up there, look at how many boards of commissioners you've worked with over the years. Wade, of course, now Niles. The way that you've shepherded our town through our progress over the last 26 years has been nothing short of amazing. Have we had some screw-ups? Sure we have. But have we fixed them? Yes. And have you led us in such a way that always honest, always highly ethical, always hardworking. You could always count on your presentations being just absolutely infallible, something that we've all enjoyed because it saves us all time to have to go through things and fix them back up again. There's so many big projects that you've been a part of. I'm going to mention a few of them, but really, if you're a resident, you just drive up and down this road, all you can do is see things that John Strong has played a really, really important role in. So I don't know what we're going to do without you. That's going to be up to these guys to figure that out. We're going to miss you. We know you're going to work virtually for the rest of the year. Is that what it is, or
A year or so.
a year or so?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Right, long goodbye. That's fine. And so then, I just want to say, from me, especially being the president for as long as I've been, it's been, our relationship has been paramount. So we've ridden motorcycles together. We've done, you guys ride without me too. Where's Wade? Yeah, but at the same time, we had nothing but a great relationship the entire time, and I trusted you. So I appreciate that. All right, a proclamation of appreciation honoring Town Engineer John Strong for his outstanding service to our community. Whereas longtime Poolesville Town Engineer John Strong is retiring from active duty as the on-site manager, designer, and supervisor in charge of development and infrastructure for the town. And whereas John Strong has dutifully served the best interests of the town of Poolesville, first as a project manager, then as the town engineer for the last 20+ years, as an integral senior member of our town management structure. And whereas John Strong served as the central liaison for the town with all state and county agencies, including the Maryland Department of the Environment, State Highway Administration, Montgomery County Department of Transportation, and the Environmental Protection Agency, as well as providing technical support to our commissions and town field staff members. And whereas John Strong's many accomplishments over the course of his career are prevalent and important to the safety and daily well-being of Poolesville residents, including overseeing our $7 million denitrification upgrade to help save the bay, construction of all park improvements, providing expert field inspection services by keeping a critical eye on new development, supervising all town inflow infrastructure improvements, and most recently, designing and supervising our Maryland leading efforts for the remediation of dangerous forever chemicals, PFAS, through filtration and well centralization. Whereas John Strong has proven to be an outstanding partner in Poolesville and has become a familiar face to hundreds of community members as well as town staff, town commissioners, and our various committees, and is known not just for his honesty and technical expertise, but also for his warm smile and his helpful attitude. Now, therefore, on this 18th day of May, 2026, on behalf of the Commissioners of Poolesville and the community, I, Jim Brown, President of the Commissioners of Poolesville, do hereby extend our community-wide appreciation and recognition to John Strong for his tireless work ethic, effective leadership, expert technical skill, and dedicated commitment to the benefit of the residents of the town of Poolesville. You have all of our sincere thanks and, of course, our best wishes for the future. Thank you, John. Thank you. Yes.
All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Okay, take one more with all of us is looking at John like we're going to
1, 2, 3.
We are gonna miss you.
Yeah, he will be missed.
That was not,
Didn't take any
that was
action.
not me.
Yep.
I am glad we have a long goodbye.
I'll get it on yours.
That's right.
That's fine, okay.
I'll send it to you.
We'll need some transition time.
All right, you guys, thank you for sitting through that very emotional moment. We appreciate it. All right, so thank you for that. And John, again, our sincere thanks.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it. I wanted to say something at dinner, but I didn't also want to let the cat out of the bag. So, anyway, your wife can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. She's struggling. Can I say a few words?
Oh, well, we'd love to. Yeah, go for it. Sure. I'm ready to move on.
To the commissioners, the board members, the residents, and the staff that I've worked with over the years. 26 years is a lot of time to put in with a great group of people. This town is, I hope, continues to be a fantastic place to live. My intention was always to serve the people of the town and to move in the right direction. And now I'm taking a little bit of a change in pace. Not going to be doing the field work anymore. And to paraphrase General MacArthur, old engineers never die, they just fade away. And now I will fade away. Thank you.
Is that how you leave it?
Yeah.
Oh, that brought a tear to my eye. If only it would be that easy. You're just gonna, we're going to keep you busy.
The phone is ringing already.
Already, yes. What, from other companies? Don't listen. All right, you guys. Anybody else for John? I know I said everything, but anything else you guys have for him?
I love you, Donnie.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, there you go. All right, guys. Well, that was very good. Thank you for that. And John, thank you for the words. That's amazing. And we appreciate you and love you, and we're going to miss you. All right, very good. So presentation time. We're lucky enough to have an all-star team of Montgomery County Police here tonight. A little bit of everybody from all walks of life from Montgomery County. And I got all your cards, and I want to make sure I get everybody's name right. But I have for Officer Beardsley. What is that title? It's,
Community service officer,
but what is that? P.O.
it's just a ranking, it's just a grade, that's all.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. So here tonight, and you guys are going to run your own presentation, but we're very lucky to have Community Service Officer Bruce Beardsley here. We are lucky to have Deputy Commander Michael Fernandez. Lucky to have Supervisor William Camarada. Thank you. And we're also lucky to have, of course, Sergeant Bandholtz, who has made a living of coming to our meetings, and we appreciate you seeing here. So you guys, the floor is all yours. Come on up and explain as you want. There's one microphone, but we can make room for any type of presentation. It's kind of dark.
Hello, everybody, thank you for having me here.
Turn that microphone close to you, too. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for having us. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. And thank for everybody for being here as well. I'm Lieutenant Mike Fernandez. I'm the Deputy Commander of our 1st District, which is Rockville. For those who don't know, it's geographically a pretty big area that has some challenges. We run all the way from the Potomac River to 355 and Veers Mill, the fishbowl there. So that with staffing creates some problems. When I came here 2 years ago, I was looking at the calls for service and things that were going on, and I noticed that Poolesville was not getting service that I think it should be getting. Confession, in all fairness, I grew up in a small town in New York, and that town reminded me a lot of the close feel that I get from you guys here in this community. So about 2 years ago when I came in looking at that, we started an overtime detail for bike units. So you might have seen some bike patrol officers. Niles and everybody has been very helpful in allowing us to store bikes here so officers can get here quicker, get the bikes, go out, deploy. We'll continue with that. I think it's been successful. It's a good success stories. People happy to see the police. I think some people said it had been 2 decades since they've seen a bike officer in Poolesville.
Yep.
So I like to see that head the right direction. With that and the success from that, we came up with a long-term temp idea for a central business district team. We had one. It was disbanded, I believe, around 2018. And it just focused in Rockville, the 355 corridor from maybe Nicholson Lane up towards like the fishbowl. We have brought them back, and they have 2 areas of assignment. They still have the one in downtown Rockville, but also with this map, they're going to be in Poolesville as well. They are a sergeant, who's Sergeant Paul Van Holtz, who you all know, and if you want him to stop coming, let me know. A corporal and 2 officers. We're lucky to get that with staffing. We hope to grow that and have it be more. We appreciate the bikes being available here, and they will be rotating between Rockville and up here in Poolesville, so you will be seeing them more up here as well. The map, we met with the crime analyst to see where your calls for service, where are your problems, concern areas, and we look at that to come up with this map. Now, this is not a hard line map, obviously. If we get a call from any of you, email any of you in the community, business community, saying, hey, we have a problem somewhere outside of these lines, no problem, we can still go there. Still Montgomery County, we have no problems there. And in fact, as you'll know, you've probably seen some of us coming around talking to you, checking in with businesses to see what are your problems, concerns, times of day, certain patterns that we can better deploy these folks, time of day, that kind of thing. So please email me. I'll leave a stack of cards up here. Let me know as things change. We can, it's kind of a fluid team. We can move them around as we need based on what we see from you all. Is there any questions on this team or CBD? That's what we'll call it, the Central Business District, we'll call it CBD for short.
I can tell you, I'm sure some of the commissioners have some comments, but I want to say, first of all, we have totally enjoyed our relationship with Commander Satinsky and obviously Officer Beardsley and Sergeant Banholtz. They have been total difference makers. I don't think any set of police officers has had a better grasp of what goes on in Poolesville. We appreciated all the attention, very strategic attention, I might add. Also, in terms of the traffic unit, and the visibility of the traffic unit has been a major difference maker on the safety of our crosswalks in our downtown zone. So we're looking forward to further interactions from this CBD unit. And on top of it, we still want to say thank you. And we totally treasure the police department in Montgomery County and all the hard work that you guys do. And I'm sure my fellow commissioners will echo that in some way, shape, or form.
Sure.
I mean, I'll definitely echo. I mean, obviously, I talk to Commander Satinsky probably once a week, just checking in, getting status, making sure that, the traffic unit's been fantastic, as Jim mentioned. We actually saw somebody pulled over the other day.
We
which was
did.
kind of unique and kind of just wave and, but it was, but it's good, but the weather's breaking now, so a lot more people are going to be out, a lot more bicyclists. I know I had sent an email relative to some of the other stuff I'll talk about, the e-bikes and so on and so forth later on, but just safety issues is a lot, we've talked about that. But again, just a lot of respect for you guys. Appreciate you guys having them out here and, look forward to continue our relationship building.
Sure. I will say the traffic detail, it's a great point. Sergeant Cameron, who's in the back as well, has set up that detail and done a great job getting the right folks up here.
Really good.
Folks who want to be engaged in the community, make traffic stops, educate, enforce, right? All these good things that we want to do, and not just sit around kind of collecting a paycheck, basically. So they're out there working because they want to work and they want to make a difference here. So he's done a great job in setting that up. And I know as we've spoken, he'll continue to do that as well.
Been fantastic. Go ahead, Brian.
The thought I really had was that it's everybody that comes up here does seem like they want to work, and they're not just sitting around collecting a paycheck. They're visible, they're moving, and it's very much appreciated. And I'll say I agree with these guys as well. Everything they said is spot on. So thank you.
Great, yeah, we look forward to it.
Anything on you guys?
Echoing everything that's been said and just adding, I appreciate the sort of positive presence. I have a 13-year-old, and I appreciate that she is happy to see the place. There's not it's a positive relationship. So, yeah, I think it's
Very important.
You're doing a great job.
And I'll echo what's been said as well. And it's whether it's doing the detail at the parking, or whether it's in the bikes in the neighborhood, or if it's some of the events that we have, the groups that come out here walking through the area, going from the skate park, hanging out on here. Just the other day, I had a conversation with Officer Brown, and he was out here, and we were getting ready to talk about some kids and e-bikes. He said, "Oh yeah, took care of it." And what I was getting ready to talk to him about, what I had just witnessed, he had already been on top of it. And so it's just a testament, though, to your presence And I would tell you also, understanding how stretched you are, and I think it's important that we do this, and we should continue to do this, which is to help other folks who complain about what's not happening to understand you're trying to make the best with what you've been given in terms of that long stretch of territory, as well as the challenges facing the police department in terms of staffing. And so we just welcome you all here in Poolesville, and you know you got a great place to call as a second home.
Thank you.
You know what, so I want to add, we have 3 business owners here tonight, or 2 business owners and a director, plus we have our Chamber of Commerce president is here too. And Officer Beardsley, are you going to get into e-bikes? Are we going to talk about that a little bit?
We'll talk about the e-bikes and then a little more into the CBD as far as detailing and cooperation with the businesses that you question, and how we can facilitate a better resource response to their needs.
Okay.
When there's potential conduct in the stores or a shrinkage situation that they need to address.
Okay, good. Thank you very much for the testimony. We appreciate it. We're going to call up a couple business owners. We can have a free flow of information. The only thing I can tell you is that if you're not near a microphone, it really doesn't pick you up that well. So we'll just take it from there. But thank you very much for the presentation. We appreciate it. We appreciate you. So Jenny, do you want to go first? I know you're signed up here. Come on up.
Hi, I'm Jenny Staver. I live at 19221 Wooten Avenue. So I wanted to follow up with something that Lexi had said at the Planning Commission last Wednesday. Towards the end, when I spoke.
So Jenny, I don't want to cut you off. If it's not about police on this one,
Oh.
can you come back up in a minute?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
But one thing I would like to say
Sure.
about that, somebody
Yeah.
told me the other day in the barber shop that the kids on the electric bikes are now at the skate park hassling the young kids. So I don't know if that's a problem, but
Okay.
Like it would be.
Appreciate that.
And we'd had conversations actually about the skate park a little bit previously, so that's something to note about as well,
Okay.
with the police.
Okay, very good. Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit more. Thank you, Jenny, for that. I appreciate it. So, we have the president of our Chamber of Commerce, Tom Kettler's here. Tom, do you want to have a few words? And then I'm going to bring back our guests from McDonald's.
Yeah. Tom Kettler, 17917 Elgin Road, President, Poolesville Chamber. Appreciate the officers coming up and you all getting a discussion. I guess the one question, I see this map and it describes it as the CBD, although it's got a lot of residential. I guess my question to the officers is there going to be more focus on the sort of business core? I'm presuming there is, because I would imagine that most of the activity is down in the Fisher Avenue, Wooten Avenue, that the corridor that all we consider as the central business district of the town, because I see we're going all the way out into all these residential areas, and maybe there's more there's more activity going on out there that I'm aware of, but I just thought I'd bring that.
That's all right,
you
Bruce,
raised as
you
a
can
question.
respond. I know you probably have something to say on that.
That grid patterns, which is called our police reporting area. We do data documentation. We do, a 911 call comes in, and we give it a box because we're the government and we have to do statistics. So that's our police reporting area. So those boxes each represent a different number we would sequence to them.
Okay.
So when we look at calls for service, as far as Poolesville, those are the 3 highest volumes of call for service, from parking to fire rescue to a problem. And they also encompass the centralized business district area, which would be basically your Fisher stretch right here. So that's why we put it, that they'd be responsible for where your highest call volume is.
Okay.
And obviously this focus is being on mountain bikes, is the centralized business district and stuff like that.
Does it matter that it seems like what we consider the central business district is kind of divided by 2 subzones? Does that matter in terms of your tracking?
It's just a stat point for.
Okay, I just didn't know if, from a tracking, whether you'd rather, have the whole,
Somebody
again,
did
when
the
we
whole-
consider
they
the
did whole
CBD.
county, and they broke it into little square.
Oh, okay, so there's really no
And that's when we do
magic to
our
it. Okay,
mapping
I
areas,
got
we
you.
always put them in that box.
No, I appreciate the inputs. But, yeah, I mean, circumstantially, I've been hearing from businesses in town, certainly the e-bikes is an issue and just the pedestrian safety. And I certainly have noticed the increased police presence up and down Fisher Avenue and along Elgin, and certainly appreciate that. And I think that's gone a long way to just, backing it down a little bit, because speed is such an issue, as we all know, especially on Fisher Avenue. But thanks for your time, appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. All right, next up, in case you guys don't know, we're lucky tonight that we have two of our most prominent business owner and I guess director, Asif. What's your actual official title? What is it? Director, I had it right. Okay, good. I thought I heard that. So here tonight is Brian Cleghorn, former Poolesville, longtime Poolesville resident, owner of how many McDonald's? 7 McDonald's, former director of, I guess, all of the franchises or whatever that title was, nationwide?
No, just in the Washington.
Okay, all right, sorry, I was going to give you, but that's still a lot of stores.
He's still under testimony.
How many stores is that?
450.
Okay, no small number. Come on up, introduce yourselves. I know these guys sit at the 2 chairs. The microphone will pick you both up. It's great having you here. So Brian you started our McDonald's, yeah?
I bought it 1 year after it was opened.
1 year after it opened, been through the remodels, as it would be, and really, I mean, I know Brian personally. I'd say it's probably not your most profitable McDonald's. I would say, is that?
No.
Yeah, okay, but
You're under oath. Go.
yeah,
It was.
but
Sorry, I didn't write.
yeah, but as a service to our community, I know that obviously you still have to make money, but as a service to our community and the community that the Cleghorns have lived in for a long time. They have kept this McDonald's and stayed up with it and brought not just food to our area, inexpensive food to our area, but also employment as one of our largest employers over a long period of time. So I can speak from a long history of both eating at McDonald's and knowing the Cleghorns and I can speak for a lot of people that we're very, very happy, and we want you to continue to be here. Asif, you run a tight ship, and we're glad you do. I know that McDonald's can fall under the criticism on Facebook, just like the rest of us. Okay, me, and it's the way it goes sometimes. But I hope you never take it that has some sort of standing with you, because what you provide to our town is so important, and it's been a very big deal for us to have you guys here. So we appreciate the dedication and the fact that that you guys are just such an important and integral part of our community. So now that I've given you a big lead in, go ahead and tell us the bad news.
Oh, good evening, everybody. Brian Cleghorn, as our president said, longtime Poolesville restaurant. We moved here in 1991 and bought this restaurant from McDonald's Corporation when it was a little less than 1 year, 1 year old. We currently operate, when I say we, my wife and I currently operate 7 restaurants: Germantown, Gaithersburg, Frederick, and here in Poolesville. Poolesville, first of all, thanks for having us. Thanks for the opportunity.
Of course.
Officers, thank you for being here. We're excited to have you here and for what this is hoping to look like. So I'll just give you a flavor of what we're up against every day and over the years. I can tell you that not much has changed in the 35 years as far as it comes to handling youth issues in the restaurant. But the one thing that has changed is it costs us more and more every year from a damage situation. This restaurant, by far, we spend more money on property destruction than any of our other restaurants every year. It's just amazing to me that this little town and that small restaurant, that we continue year after year to have that much damage. But what's most important to me, why I really wanted to speak here, is not about how the trouble that we have with the kids are disruptive to our business, and not about what it's costing us in sales, because families are afraid to come in the evenings, late afternoons and evenings. What's most important to me and what concerns me the most is the safety and security of my employees and my customers. We are just a day away from a horrific accident happening. We see it in the news every day, small towns not unlike this one. And with some of the things that we've been witness to and seen, we need help. The kids are out of control and have a complete disregard for authority or respect for property. Our shop is run by mostly female managers, and when they get threatened, there's nothing they can do. We instruct our employees to look out for your safety first. If you feel threatened, do not push. And that's happening every day. Our trouble time is in the afternoon, 2 to 5, 2 to 7, more on Monday through Friday than on the weekend. But yeah, we could sure use some help, and we would love the opportunity to chat with anybody at our restaurant and provide more information and introduce our general manager that has firsthand day-to-day experience with what is happening in the restaurant, the challenges that she and her team face. But the reality is that we have a situation where we're not comfortable. Madam Commissioner, you mentioned your 13-year-old daughter, and I would guess that you would not want her in our restaurant in the afternoon by herself. I know what's going on. I hear families talk, and it's gotten to that point where people are afraid to let their kids go to our restaurant. McDonald's, family restaurant in a small town, it's not safe. So I'll let Sif speak for a moment on some of the issues and can ask questions.
Yes, thank you for having us. What Brian said was that not only we have issue with them, like what kind of issues are we having with that? They're drinking inside the restaurant. They're smoking weed inside the restaurant. I have actually witnessed doing piercing. They go to the bathroom, damage the property, and piercing each other, and the blood on the sinks. And when approached by anybody else at that level, nobody want to reach out to them. I have personally spoken to the customers from this town, and they are telling us that you are not doing anything. I say, we call the cops. We have asked to give trespassing orders, and the kids know also. I mean, I'm very glad to see that now we have police presence here, but the kids know, even though when we make a call, it's 30 minutes, 40 minutes before anybody's going to get there. And even if somebody gets there, it's, I don't know how I'm going to say it. It's just kind of tap on the hand. Hey, don't do it again. I have witnessed this, that when a person was smoking weed, I showed it to the cop who showed up, and nothing was done. Inside the store, smoking weed. And when our managers, they approach, they have been cursed out. Even a customer reached out to me that the customer was threatened that the kids have guns. So he said, I'm not coming back here. Same thing, recently I spoke with a customer. He also said he came with his granddaughter. He's not coming back to the store. And when you go to the Facebook or the town, it feels like we are the bad people, that we don't want to do anything. We are looking, this is Montgomery County, low volume restaurant, very high pay, high maintenance. We are still thinking to expand the hours, open early and stay up late for the town. But we really need town's help to do that. It's getting harder and harder to pay bills. So any help we can get.
So, first of all, I'm so sorry. And I think we're all committed to trying to figure out what we can do on our end. And obviously, we really appreciate all the support that we're getting from MCPD. Can you give us a little more insight into, are these middle school, high school age? Are they kind of like the same group of people coming back?
Same group, one group.
It's one group.
It's one group. And if we...
Middle school age, high school age?
15, 16.
Okay. So can't necessarily drive yet. But
Oh, they're not
also-
driving, for sure they're not driving.
Yeah.
So I would say if those 8 or 9 kids given trespassing, we will eliminate at least 70% of the issue. those 7, 8 kids, they are there every day making mess, and when they're there, everybody start following.
And it's a place to hang out because there's no place else to hang out, presumably?
Yes.
Like they're coming there just to hang out, not because like,
Just hanging out.
yeah.
And also, there's increase, I have heard from general manager here from Mafe, that now with the scooter bikes, they're just going in the parking lot, and customers are avoiding coming to parking lots because they don't want to have any accident. So we are losing sales. Just, not only they are threatened directly, and also with their behavior, just circling around the building. They're just avoiding us completely.
If I could add on to that. Though, while there's one main group right now, and it goes back and forth, there's sometimes middle school, sometimes high school, different cliques, but it's the culture that's going on in the town and what's allowed, because these kids will move on. But for 35 years, it repeats itself over and over again. They grow up, and there's going to be a new crop. And unless we somehow can change that culture and the understanding of there's consequences or this is not allowed, we'll have others. There will be others that will follow in this group's.
Well, I'll speak. Completely disappointed, in our town and what's happening with you guys. I mean, I get my unsweet iced tea almost every day. Obviously, it's during the day, but again, I mean, I didn't know it was as bad as it's been for so long. So, know that, we are here to help along with our MCPD fellow officers to try to crack down as much as possible. Obviously, you guys have been here for 35 years, and you could have left anytime you wanted to, but you still have the benefit of providing service to the town, and the kids use it every day for open lunches, to generate the revenue for you guys to stay to be here, but just really just eye-opening for me. So I appreciate you guys coming in and giving testimony, and we can collectively work with everybody, including you and your managers, to come up with a plan and to help you guys out. So that's really what I have. A lot to digest, to be honest with you. I don't want to say I was living under a rock, but I had no idea it was that bad.
Yeah.
So, and that's on me too, but I appreciate you guys coming in.
Yeah, we hear about it we'll hear something like 3 or 4 days or a week or 2 weeks from either parents or, because there's people on the other side of that. You've got the kids doing the bad things, and then you got some parents some kids that are having the bad things done to them. And we've gone through periods of time where that's been something where it's kind of come and gone. And I guess we just issue like this sigh of relief, like, okay, maybe that wave of that group of kids has passed. But to hear it, that it's been consistent and that, one replaces the other, and to do it consistently over the period of time, that is very disappointing as far as I'm concerned. That's just very difficult to hear.
The threatening, the, potential assaults and stuff like that. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, inconceivable to me, but again.
And I don't think any business in Poolesville should have to expect to try to, I know the math wouldn't work anyway, but have a security presence, during that time frame. It just doesn't, I know it probably just doesn't, it's not feasible. It's more about trying to figure out a way to end the problem versus, just having to hire security or even ask our MCPD partners to be here all the time during that. But we will get with them, and I'm sure Officer Beardsley will have something to say about it too during a little bit more of a time frame. So very, very disappointed. You guys, anything else to add?
Yeah, and you said those hours, I agree with everything that's been said, and I didn't realize it has gotten to that extent. And you said usually it's between 2 and 5 o'clock are like the peak times?
Very much these after school, yeah, before the parents get home.
How is the crowd after, like, I know we have games, basketball games, football games. On those nights where we have those games, and I know kids would go over there to McDonald's, is it a different type of atmosphere where kids are more respectable, or is it the same kind of thing?
It's very different. So yes, there's times where after a game, they can get loud, or a little crazy. It's kids having fun.
But nothing that's
Not kids
disrespectful? or-
threatening people, causing property damage, tearing the leather seats or breaking the tables or chairs, not that kind of stuff.
All right, and so then, so really we're looking at that 2 to 5 crowd, not yet driving, but just not doing the right thing.
Correct.
Yeah. And so I will probably, I'm not an officer, but I plan on just paying a pop-in visit just to kind of see, and I think we can all brainstorm and work with our partners in law enforcement to look at what we might be able to do, whether that's working with some of the kids and the messaging and partnering up with some of the schools and then partnering up with parents in the community as well.
One thing that used to be in place for years was SRO at the schools. We always had a really tight relationship, so that was helpful. Hopeful that would come back at some point. But mentioning the schools, so we've been a very proud supporter of this community for 35 years. We were residents for many of those years, raised our 4 children in the public schools here in Poolesville. I'm very proud of that. And, there for many, many years, the word on the street was, you go to Brian and Kathy, they'll support you. They support every school, churches, fire department, you name it. We are there to help support, and we want to continue to do that, but it gets harder and harder every year. Not out of a lack of desire or commitment. It's very costly.
Hey, Brian, could you describe what's happening to the property damage, just so, is it inside, outside, or both? Or?
It's both. It's landscaping that gets torn up. It's inside windows, glass, vinyl, soft seating that gets torn. The tables get broken off of the pedestals. The backs of hard seats get broken off the brackets. Various objects stuffed into the men's urinals and toilets or women's toilets, to the point that we have to call plumbers on a regular basis, which is problematic just because trying to run a business and stay open.
Of course.
So just things like that.
Yeah.
With some of the property damage outside of the bathroom, but in other places, do you ever have any camera footage where you're seeing where it's easy to identify who's doing what?
We have cameras. We have a very good camera system, yes.
What, let's say a youth is caught, I don't know, damaging something, and you have the police come, other than issuing some type of citation for property damage, what avenues are available? Are you allowed to, I don't know, ban people from coming to your store in the future? Are you trespass order?
So
Yeah,
we've done many trespass orders, but it gets harder and harder to get those executed.
Yeah.
And then mostly they're ignored and.
Can't enforce them.
Right. And the kids know it.
Yeah. Are they, do they have to do community service? Like, are there any consequences other than fines to their parents?
No.
I guess maybe this is a
I'm aware
question
of.
for MCPD at some point.
Dealing with the juvenile system is a lot different than adults, obviously. For that kind of situation, if it was a misdemeanor like a vandalism,
Yeah.
if the officer came there and had, probable cause that they did that, whatever that act was,
Yeah.
it's just documented in a report. There's no citation for it that the kid would get. It's documented in an event report. That report gets sent to Department of Juvenile Services. They review it, they review the history of the juvenile, and they decide what to do from there. And we have a lot of back and forth issues with them as far as them taking these things seriously, because once it goes from our shop to DJS.
Yeah. So it's out of your hands,
It's
kind
out of
of.
our hands. All we can do is document as well as we can and rely on them to make assessments. I will say, we do know that's a problem, and we've been lucky enough, we had a meeting with them MCPS as well, to communicate information better so we know who these repeat juveniles are, so that the system, the DJS system, can do more with them, so they're not just constantly going back and forth and vandalizing, nothing happens, and then they get emboldened because, well, I got caught doing this and I got caught and I still didn't, you know what I mean? So there's, hopefully, I've seen the process be as good as it has been since I've been here, which is hopeful for me that it's headed in the right direction, but it's still a lot of work and a lot of convincing to do on the other side. I will say that the trespass order is always still good to go, and if they violate that, then they'd be in violation of trespassing, but it would be the same document on an event report, send it to juvenile services, and then it's in their hands. We can definitely talk offline. We'll get together and get some more of the information. And this is, I mean, honestly, the value of having everybody here so we can hear this directly, because now we have this new team that this is probably going to be their first product. And so we can get with you, get a better timeline, come down with a game plan and deploy them for that. So I think that'll be a good thing.
Great. Guys, anybody else?
No, I mean, just thanks for coming out and really shedding light on.
I'm sorry, just one more question. In the past, when you have worked with RSOs in the schools, can you give us an example of, so that as we argue for the support of bringing back RSOs, we can provide some examples of, like, here are some of the constructive things that they were able to do in our community that we're now lacking?
So they have relationships with the parents. They can help identify specific individuals. So if we can give a camera footage or video footage to the RSO, they can identify, speak to the proper authorities at the school, speak to parents. There's more people involved. It's a direct benefit. We're able to meet with them at their location, at the school. They very often would visit our restaurant at lunchtime when there's open lunch and help control the goings-on during that open lunch. That's been sorely missed. Although we talked about 2 to 5 or 2 to 7 being our hot point now. It can get kind of wild during lunchtime also. That was a nice benefit.
How's the relationship with the local high school in terms of just being able to say, hey, this is what's going on, here's some of the kids? Do you all have that communication or that dialogue?
Not as strong as it used to be.
Because that might be an area where because we have a great relationship, and even just sharing information, and of course, within the legal guidelines, but being able to make sure, here's a heads up, this is what's happening. Because in disclosure, I used to be a high school assistant principal, and I worked closely. I loved working with the SROs at the 3 high schools I worked in. And the SROs made a huge difference. And so I'm a strong advocate for SROs because I know what happens behind the scenes that the general public doesn't really know what's going on, all right? But I think those relationships are critical. And then because you used the word, the culture, and I think when folks realize that you got a handful of people who are jeopardizing something that's beneficial, then there could be positive peer pressure that it's like, don't blow something for all of us because you want to act this particular way. So, yep.
Thank you.
Officer Bandholz, do you want
Yeah, if I could just address something real quick, so I hear the issues that you presented, and the issues that you presented should not be difficult to solve. It really shouldn't. We're talking about a small town, a business in a small town, and we're talking about a few bad actors, whether it's 7 or 8 of them, or whatever. Shouldn't be a difficult issue to solve. But I think it's going to take persistence and perseverance. And we have to get rid of the stigma of, and there's been a stigma here in Poolesville for a long time now, that people don't call the police because they say it'll take them too late, too long to get here. And when they get here, the bad actors are already gone. Like, you can't not call the police because of reasons like that. You really don't know where the police are. I mean, there could be an officer 2 minutes away. There could be an officer 30 minutes away. But you have to get rid of that stigma of, the police either aren't going to do anything, or they're too far away, they won't get here in time, that you can't do that. To address the problem, you need to be persistent. To solve the problem, you need to perseverance and persistence. What also needs to happen is people need to be held accountable. Whether it's DJJ, the juvenile justice system, if they keep slap on the wrist and nothing happens, they need to be held accountable. Things need to happen there. Phone calls need to be made, pressure needs to be put on. If it's the officer, like I think you stated earlier, that you called the police and you said this, that, and nothing ever happened, that the officers need to be held accountable. The officers have a job to do. If you call them for something and they get there, they need to do, they need to do their job. If the person isn't on scene and you have video, you should be trying to find out who the person is and go and trespass that person and make sure they can't come back again. People need to be held accountable. The officers, the juvenile system, your employees at the store. Your employees need to call the police when something's going on. They can't say, oh, I didn't call because the police never show up. Oh, I didn't call because they get here too late. We need persistence, perseverance, accountability, and this shouldn't be a difficult problem to solve. We'll talk more offline, but this goes for all the businesses in Poolesville as well. Get rid of the stigma that, nothing's going to happen or it takes them too long to get here. Because things can be followed up on, and we can't address things if we don't know about them. And the more information, the more instances that are reported to us, we start to develop more patterns and more information on these people. We'll talk more offline.
Sure. I would add one more thing too. As I'm listening to you, and I think from the role that we play as town commissioners, I think we could be of assistance in the putting pressure and accountability, right, where you're talking about the Department of Juvenile Justice, and if they're not if things are getting slaps on the wrist, we go back to that accountability. And I think on our end, as we advocate for different things, right, we can also advocate for the accountability. Because I won't go into a long lecture, but over the years, I've been working with young people almost 30 years, and I have seen the decline. I do know what happens when there's no accountability. And I think it's where the officers have their limitations, because once they turn it over, right, then that pressure has to be put on that next group of folks who have responsibility to address the problem. And I think that all of us are very comfortable with advocating to make sure everyone's doing what's in the best interest of kids and towns, and not just saying kids will be kids.
Still very sobering to hear across the board, and sad. As again, I guess I'm remain always hopeful that when it's quiet, it's like that wave has gone away. And I know about several of the waves. We've talked about several of those waves. But this is disheartening. But I remain convinced. We have the A team from Montgomery County Police here, commissioners that want to stay informed. And McDonald's is such an important part of our community that we have to make sure that it feels safe for all families at all times. So, we appreciate you guys coming up and having some testimony. It's been a while, and I wish you'd come up sooner, and we probably should have invited you sooner. So we appreciate you guys coming up. Any other questions for him, gang?
No, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
I'd like to connect.
Sir,
so
thank
that's
you.
fine.
Look forward to working with you.
Yeah, give your business cards out to all those guys down there. Let's get that communication chain rolling. Wow, okay, that sucks, but thank you guys for coming up for that. We really appreciate it. Officer Beardsley, do you want to come on up and give us a little bit more? And then we'll have another former Montgomery County police officer, David Fraser-Daga, come up as well. So.
Hey, how you doing? Officer Beardsley, Montgomery County Police. I'm the Community Service Officer, 1st District. I'm going to briefly cover some of the e-bike stuff. It's been a current trend, and as we know, our government does a horrible job of dealing with modern technology in any legal sense until several years after the fact. Our most current example is the internet and all the foolishness that went on there, and just a lack of regulatory end of it, especially on our end of it. We have very limited tools to deal with a lot of the crimes we've seen. We've gotten better, but the internet's been around for, well over a long period of time at this point. E-bikes is not a new technology, but it's had an all of a sudden boom. We've seen just an incredible spike in its usage throughout the entire county. There's a wealthy county, so families will buy a several $1,000 piece of equipment with a motor on it and give it to a 14-year-old and say, good luck. And then they'll drive wherever they feel they want to drive, in the parking lots. I've almost hit many just driving through shopping centers in the county. Because the problems become, to a certain extent, there's two different type of documents that were being driven in the county at the time. I was able to find both of them. Unfortunately, put them in different formats. So I'm in the process of merging both of the data points. It covers fines, it covers the legal language, it covers descriptions, it covers examples of when a registration is needed, helmets are needed, all that kind of stuff, or not, depending on it. The concept is we're going to get a brief version of that out to our officers on the road, a longer version to myself and people like me to then teach the HOAs and go out and teach the communities, and a longer version to go to the public school system to make sure they're putting it out like a PSA. Some of the charges are directed at the parents for allowing the stupidity, if you will, and they can be brought into the mess. That's what we're hoping to do, is put the pressure on the families. Like, great, you bought them this item and now they're running around causing chaos. Well, here's your couple $100 fine, here's your $50 fine. And that's a couple different aspects that we're going to take on the e-bike thing. And the reality of the local community and the businesses, you're going to have to put signage, and your lawyer will probably attest to this, that directly reflects the language of that type of deal. The e-bike, the motorized stuff. So the shopping centers may have to put up some signage, like not allowed. That will give us as officers to go, hey, there's a sign, tells you not to do it. The civil liability and stuff like that of, hey, we told you not to do it. We put a sign, so if anything does happen, not hoping it does, but if somebody gets hurt on your property and you have the signage, they'll just help in litigation later on. That's just like that preventive measure going down the road. So that's a new thing. I hope to have that product out by the end of this week and then send it to our legal, because the lawyer's got to look at it. And once they approve it, we're going to try to fire it off to the school system. I don't know how long they take when they hand their documents out and go through their stuff, but ours will go out relatively quickly, and we can start teaching on it, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, where I can go to an HOA or come back here, and we can give you the documents that you can post on your website, we can talk through it, teach it, however you want to take care of that aspects, but we hope to get that out pretty quick.
Yeah, we're all scrapping right now. So everybody's trying to come up with solutions and trying to tackle it, but we're really not organized. So that will be the backbone of the organization once you can get those materials.
Yeah, we'll have the actual state law as the current exists. We'll have the current fines and all that stuff will be there, so you can read the language, including the fines and the language of when a parent gets charged and stuff like that. And they just kind of get the PSA out there, if you will. Our CBD element will have this, obviously, and if they come across it and have to deal with it in a capacity, they'll deal with it as well. The only other aspect that I could ask on the social media side, there's two sides of the coin. There's a positive and negative. When there's a lot of negativity towards our enforcement actions and when we do stuff, the voice of the other side also needs to be there, because the negativity overwhelms it. Then we're just going to have more of the behavior of the children because they think they can get away with it. I remember there's a time I used to be up here on the DCAT team, and we'd make a traffic stop, and then just the social media would blow up. Oh, they're out here harassing, all that stuff like that. So there's two sides of that. So have those quiet conversations with the families up here. Hey, it's not you, but if your 20-year-old or your 19-year-old is out there just spewing hate on social media, then you got to have a question like, why? What does it bother you? What's going on? Have those conversations so they don't just get so mentally narrowed into a focus that's not realistic to the reality of what we need as a society and where we're going. Make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
Makes sense.
Thanks, Bruce.
It's real. I mean, I know for being the liaison between the Parks and Street Board and the commissioners, Niles and I must have talked about this for 3 months now. My biggest dilemma is not only the kids that continue to run the stop signs, it's our cars that run the same intersections, and it's not if, it's when, and it's going to come. Weather's breaking, our streets are dark, even though we have lights, but you always have those little areas, and they don't wear reflective clothes, they don't have any lights on the bikes, they run down the middle of the street, they're using sidewalks and paths throughout town with families with strollers and so on and so forth. But again,
I love accountability. You know, reality is, tough love is missing a lot nowadays, but I'm just trying to be proactive and not reactive on a lot of the safety issues. Nobody wants to have that conversation. But again, now I have to say the kids that I have talked to, because there are a lot of them in my neighborhood, you know, a nice neighborhood, and I've known them since they were little kids on strollers. They're respectful, but it's been because I know them and I know their families. But again, there's more and more every day. So I appreciate it. And I have, and I think, Jim, you're going to sit on it too, is we have an MDOT e-bike seminar on Thursday for like an hour and a half to see where Maryland Department of Transportation is coming through on.
This Thursday?
Yes.
Where would that be?
It's a webinar. I can send you guys some of the information.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm literally trying to finish this content out to get it out, and I'd be curious to what DOT is going to talk about.
I'll forward it for you guys. I think I have all your emails from some of the other stuff, though.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I don't want to cut the commentary short on this, but I know David's got a hard stop. So, Bruce, if you give us a couple more minutes, if you guys can be around, David will do his thing, and we may have more questions. I'm not sure where you guys stand on
Thank
that
you.
yet or
Yeah,
not.
thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
David, come on up. I don't think you need to introduce yourself, but go ahead anyway, since the microphone's there.
All right, thank you, Maryland State Delegate David Fraser Hidalgo. For the record, thank you very much for inviting me to come up. I'll say just a few words about the last legislative session. We just concluded the 449th legislative session. For those that don't know, in the state of Maryland, we have a citizen legislature, and it runs for 90 days every year. In those 90 days, we have to balance the budget, we have to fund a variety of things, and we have to pass all the laws and make all the laws. If it's not done in that 90 days, then it's not done in that 90 days, and you got to wait a year to start all over again. So with that said, I am on the Environment and Transportation Committee, which also now has Energy. That used to be on the Economic Matters Committee. We have a new Speaker of the House, and she's made a lot of changes. She works. I've never seen anybody work so hard as our new Speaker. And one of the things that she did is she moved the subject matter over to another committee. And so we dealt with a lot of energy issues. So I was asked tonight to kind of talk a little bit more about electricity, energy, the grid, data centers. So I'll talk a little bit about that. This legislative session and last legislative session, we are tasked with, as all of you know, and those that are watching at home know, that we have had a lot of energy spikes in the last couple of years. And the reason for that, for those that aren't aware, is there's a variety of reasons, but the largest reason is speculation in the data center market. So we are what's called part of the PJM, which is Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland. It's 13 different states. We come together to create our electrical grid. We share electricity back and forth across a variety of jurisdictions, a variety of these 13 states. And as a result, as a result of data centers, mostly driven by AI, there has been a great spike in energy usage and what's thought of as futures and what's going to happen in the future when it comes to electricity. So in a long story kind of short, we buy electricity, we secure electricity in the future for those really big peak days. There's about 43 or 44 peak energy days every year where we have to secure electricity, and that's bought on an open market like an auction. And in the last couple of years, that auction has gotten very, very expensive, and it's because we're buying what we consider the future is going to be. And there's a lot of data center speculation, a lot of data centers and companies that want to build data centers throughout the entire PJM. So they will put in an application saying they want to build a data center in Maryland, and then they might say, well, we'll build one in Ohio, and we'll build one in New Jersey. And maybe they're only building one data center, but they've put in 3 or 4 applications. So the administrators, the people that run the PJM, they look at it and they go, how much electricity are we going to need in 3 years when these are 4 years or 5 years when these data centers come online? And then they go out in the market and they bid that they're going to need that electricity, and then we pay for it. And that is the main reason, one of the main reasons why electricity prices have been so high. So this last legislative session, we concentrated on doing what we can do as one state within the PJM to try to better understand and better kind of get control over some of those cost increases, being that we're just one state and it's much larger. So we had a bunch of different bills, and we kind of combined almost all of them into one big bill. It's called HB 1532. And we worked that bill for 90 days, really hardcore, and essentially what we ended up coming up with was a variety of things. One of the things that we came up with was putting a cap on the amount of money, which was part of the first bill we passed called HB1, but we put a cap on the amount of money that executives and supervisors from the utility companies like BG&E, Pepco, Potomac Edison, how much money that they can make. And what we said is that from the ratepayer, you can make up to $250,000 or the same cost, or the same salary as the Public Service Commission had. After that, it has to be in your profits. It all has to come out of your shareholders. That money cannot come out of the ratepayers. It can't be added onto our bill. So if you want to pay your CEO $6 million or $13 million, which some of them do, the rest of that money has to come from your shareholders, not us. That's one of the big things we did. The other thing we did is we required those organizations to join PJM, which is about a $20 million savings, and a variety of other things that we did as well, and I'm happy to go into them if you want. And then we attempted to kind of attack some of the concerns that we have. We had a registry, so we're trying to put together a registry of all the different states so that if a company decides they want to apply for a permit and apply for the process of putting in a data center in Maryland, and they do the same thing in New Jersey, that Maryland and New Jersey and the PJM can all come together and say, wait, you have three different applications, and we're potentially trying to figure out how to provide electricity for three massive different data centers. So try to cut that back because that's part of the problem.
That's in terms of buying the futures, right?
That's in terms of buying the futures, right. So if you think you're going to have to provide electricity for one 75-megawatt data center or 100-megawatt data center, that's one calculation. If you think you're going to have to do 300 megawatts, that's a completely different calculation. So that's one of the things that we did. The other thing we did is we put a lot of guardrails and we reduced what can be pushed to the ratepayer. So before it was anything below 100 megawatts. If you're a 100-megawatt data center, then to some degree that could be pushed onto the ratepayer, and we said no. If we reduced the limit to 25 megawatts, and if you're 25 megawatts or larger, you got to bring your own power. That's a lot of complicated guardrails in there, but that's essentially what we're saying, is that if you're a big data center or a data center of any significant size, you got to bring your own power. You can't put it on us to pay for the infrastructure. You can't put it on us to pay for a natural gas power plant. You can't put it on us to pay for a small modular reactor or whatever to bring your electricity or your transformers, all the big transmission lines. We did those things. We also took about $200 million, $100 million a year for the next couple of years, and what's called the C for the Strategic Energy Investment Fund, and we said we're going to use that money that comes from all these projects, and it's money that's designed in the state to promote renewables, and we created what's called the reverse auction, so it's $100 million a year for 2 years to try to make some of these big solar projects pencil so that they get developed, and they get developed quickly. We find ourselves in a unique situation with the data center explosion, and also if you want to get a turbine for a natural gas power plant, that turbine is a 5 or 6 year wait to get them because of the data center explosions around the world. So GE or whatever, Siemens, whoever's making these big turbines, they have a 5 or 6 year wait. So that means that even if you want to do natural gas, that's a 5 or 6 year wait. If you want to do nuclear, that's anywhere from 9 to a 12 or 13 year wait. So the only thing that can be deployed immediately right now, whether you like those other technologies or not, is solar and wind. But the administration killed all the wind offshore around the country, so that's kind of put a big squeeze on us. And all of the credits, the incentives and credits for solar have been pulled back from the federal government. So that basically means that those things that are immediately deployable have just gone up in price by 30% or more. And the things that could work very well are years and years and years away. So we kind of find ourselves in this unique kind of a crunch. We did a bunch of other things to help develop and move solar, because that's what's immediately deployable, through processes much more quickly so that we can deploy faster, encouraging more people to put solar on their houses and maybe some batteries in their basements, and then dispatch back to the grid at those peak times. There's a lot of things that we did, and I'm happy to answer any questions. The bill was a 125-page bill. It was the largest energy bill I think the General Assembly has seen in well over 20 years. And so, yeah, there's.
90 days, 120 pages in 5 minutes. Thanks, Dave.
There you go. I'll leave some of my cards up here.
No, but I do have a question for you. What did your committee do to move SMRs faster, quicker? Because I think
So
we all
last
agree-
year,
we all agree this is the future, right? Is anybody saying that otherwise?
yeah, I mean, I think that there are some people that don't believe in nuclear, but I think for the most part, the General Assembly is,
On board?
yeah, for the most part. I mean, so one of the things that we did in the 2025 session, we passed a bill to create like a REX or, credits for nuclear. And I know that there's a company in Rockville that myself and some of my colleagues are going to be touring called X Energy, and they have a facility in Rockville and in Frederick, so we're going to be touring them. I think that the SMRs, for those that don't know, small modular reactors are kind of small, more modern reactors that can go up more quickly. There are several companies around the world doing them. I think China's doing a lot of them. They're not completely ready for prime time. I think they're getting very, very close. I don't know how many of them are deployable, but just the processing period to bring a nuclear reactor online is basically about a 12-year period to get through all of the regulations. And also, so that's a problem. And the other problem, which is significant, is in most cases, these are big, big projects that really don't cost as much to operate, and they provide an enormous amount of electricity over a very long period of time, like 25, 30, 35 years, which is great. But the capital money to get them up and running is astronomical. And I'll give you an example. In Georgia, there was a reactor that was built a few years ago, and it was predicted to be approximately $15 billion to build. 15 billion with a B. It was about a year and a half to 2 years late, and it went up to 33 or $34 billion before it was all done. Now, it will provide a lot of electricity for Georgia, but it costs an enormous amount of money. Hence comes in the SMRs, but, they'll be smaller and they should be faster. But again, we're trying to.
I would hope the state would do all it can do, keep that moving along as best as possible. And since I think everybody agrees, for the most part, that that's the end, efficiency for probably the next 50 to 100 years if it's done right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if they can get SMRs deployed very, very quickly, affordably, and they can be secure, like people don't worry about
no more
whether they're going to happen, what's going to happen with them from a variety of perspectives, whether it's any kind of accident or any kind of like terrorist-related accident. Those are all things that are in consideration. But yeah, once they're up and running, like Calvert Cliffs provides, I think it's somewhere around 35% of all of our electric needs for the entire state. And we produce about 60% of the electrical needs in state. So we need to generate more electricity in state. And what ends up happening is, I'm sure you've heard of the Piedmont line and some of the others. This is where we're building transmission lines to other states so that we can import electricity from other states. And that is dangerous because those lines cost a lot of money to build, and they go through a lot of farmland and a lot of communities. And I'm sure you've heard people don't want big transmission lines. You see them. People don't want these big transmission lines going through their farms or in their backyards. So that's a problem. And then the even bigger problem when you think further ahead is, okay, well, what if some of these states decide that they want to put a data center behind the meter, or they want to put a data center in front and take those electrons because they're going to make more money selling those electrons to Microsoft or some other company, Facebook or whoever it may be, than they are going to be selling them to us here in Poolesville or Boyd's or Maryland. And so that is a big concern, because we could spend billions of dollars building transmission lines to other states, and then if they decide that they don't want to do that, now the FERC, the Federal Electrical Regulatory Commission, can get involved, and maybe they will if something like that happens. But I think it's important for us to generate as much as we can locally, or at least kind of get that balance a little bit better.
Awesome. Question for Dave.
One question that I hear a lot from residents is the state exploring solar in areas that are not agriculturally based, like on rail lines or over parking lots or?
Yeah, so I think Montgomery County as a government has done a lot in that regard. And I talked with Julie Yang on the school board the other day, and she said that all the new schools that are being built, I think it may just be high schools, I'm not sure, are being solar ready so that solar can go on the rooftops of the schools, which should be a no-brainer. And you're seeing canopy solar go up in a lot of places. Canopy solar is great. It provides a great opportunity to generate electricity. It also shades vehicles. It helps to preserve the asphalt. It does a lot of things. But it's really most cost-effective when you're building that parking lot for the very first time. If you've got to go in and tear up a parking lot, as you all probably know, if you've got to go in and tear up a parking lot and put in a bunch of steel beams and electric everywhere, it can get pretty expensive. So there'll be more. I mean, all hands are on deck. We did a lot last year when it came to agricultural land, and I think there's going to be a lot more coming because our backs kind of get, if you see, you've seen your utility prices go up 2.5 times just in the last 4 or 5 years. It's getting really, really hard for a lot of folks, especially with the inflation that we see. So you have all of this inflation, and now your electric bills are so much higher. So I would encourage most people, if you can create some level of independence and generate some of your own electricity, you should try as best you can, because it creates some level of independence, and that independence is gold, as opposed to being stuck with no choice but to buy it at no matter what the rate is. So we've done everything in this last session that we can do in the state to try to reduce or cap those rates as much as we possibly can. But most of this is out of our control. Most of this is about AI and data centers and the cloud and futures. But that's what most of this is about.
Yeah, wow. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good.
Is there
anything else? Good.
Yeah, is there anything outside of the energy realm that has gone on in the last 90 days that we should be thinking about?
So,
Take your head out of your committee.
knowing the town like you know it, is there anything that catches your eye that we should be talking
yeah,
about?
I mean, I would say, so we had a $1.5 billion budget shortfall this year, which we had to close that gap on. We kind of, we've had to make some pretty big cuts. I would say that one of the things that's hurting Maryland really, really badly right now is that Maryland is 6.2 million people, and because of DOGE and those cuts, we have lost 30,000 federal jobs in the state of Maryland. That's 30,000 Marylanders who have lost their jobs. Now, we're 6.2 million people, as we are not a very big state, but we have lost more federal jobs than any other state in the country, not by capita, not per capita, but we've lost more jobs, period. There's no other state that has lost over 30,000 jobs, and this is hurting us really. It's hitting really hard, and it's going to hit even harder. And, the next 6 months, next year, we're probably going to have another budget shortfall next year, but it'll probably be significantly larger than this one was. This one, we were able to do a lot of cuts. They were uncomfortable cuts. They were not fun cuts, but we were able to do a lot of cuts and close $1.5 billion budget gap. I don't know that we're going to be able to do that because, we've done what we can do. So, Brian, it's the next couple of years are going to be pretty tough. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Anybody else?
I'm good. We can always go offline.
Yes. Dave, you've been just probably our most responsive and responsible delegate. Appreciate all the easy conversations that we can all have with you.
I love coming up to Poolesville. We do everything we can to bring resources back to Poolesville, as you know. So.
So you didn't even mention the pool bubble funding.
No, yeah. So we last year I think we got $200,000 or $250,000 to help get that bubble up and running. This year we got another $200,000. So I think it's close to $500,000 for that bubble. We're just trying to work with our partners at the county level to get the funding and get some commitments to get that bubble up and running, as well as some of the arts and some of the moving forward for the arts community has been a big priority for us. Anything we can to get Poolesville up and running.
Awesome.
Always appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much.
Yep, thank you.
Right.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
So Brian Cleghorn, do you commit to solar on each one of your McDonald's? Yes or no? The delegate's here to help.
Hey, it's about creating independence. Like, nobody wants to. This is what I always say. If you've got one option, that is bad. You do not want to be in a position where you have one job option or one choice. you want multiple choices,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So that's what
And I'm just kidding. You do a great job, Brian. Ben, David, thank you for coming up and spending all the time with us. We had a little pre-meet, which is great. This echoes the exact conversation you and I had a couple weeks ago about the session. Really brought it into perspective for all the utility work you've done, and to the delegation as well, because you guys have a lot of responsibility as a delegation, and you shoulder it well, and you do it on behalf of us, and we appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you. We wouldn't be, we would not be nearly as successful as we have been for Poolesville if it wasn't for the fact that the District 15 team is very strong. Senator Brian Feldman, Delegates Lily Chi, and Linda Foley, all four of us work hand in glove really hard together to bring these resources back. We're very lucky. Not all the districts in the state are able to bring as many resources back. And we bring resources back for Poolesville, but a lot of resources back for Clarksburg and for, further south in the district.
No, we're always respectful on communication levels too. When I reach out to you guys, if it's not immediate, it's that day or something like that, so.
Yeah, delegation's great. We're blessed.
Absolutely.
You got my
Appreciate the
cell,
work
just
ethic.
text me.
Thank you.
All right, very good, guys. Anybody else? Any questions in the audience for the delegate? We're here tonight? Nope? Okay, good. He's always available. You can reach him.
I'll leave my cards here.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Appreciate you, buddy. Okay, back to MCPD, since Dave had to run pick up his daughter. More presentation from our partners in the back? You guys are okay? Well, so we appreciate meeting you two on the left and the work that you're going to do for us in the CBD. You guys know you always have town hall at your disposal, literally. And we love having you guys here, and the focus on the CBD, and also to, I just urge you guys to make sure you exchange informations with Brian and Asif to make sure that really one of our absolute hot points, in fact, David texted me during the testimony about that he saw something take place at Christopher's the other day too. Very similar scenario, I would imagine, right, Dave? Yeah, so, disruption, that time frame, you guys aren't alone. I don't know if that makes you feel any better or not. But we've got the team right here that's going to work with it, and the commissioners are all going to caucus on this and figure out a way that we can make a difference in the community ourselves. So that's all for that. Okay, look, we can take a little 5-minute recess. You guys can stick around if you want to and stay for the last part of the meeting, or you can leave, and then we'll take it from there. So quick 5 minutes. That's it. Maybe 3. Yeah, for sure. Nothing clears the room like a 5-minute recess. Are we back on?
You didn't
Yep,
want to
we're
stay
back
for
on.
the rest of
Yeah.
the meeting?
No, I can read the room on that one. They had enough. That's fine. Wake up out there online.
Yep.
We see you. Have we been paying Kevin for this entire 2 hours so far? No need to answer, Kevin. We know the answer. All right, very good. Okay, unless I'm seeing something else, Link, did you have any public comment? You okay? Okay, you didn't sign up, but I think we ran everybody else out. I'm just double checking. All right, all of that was fantastic, great meeting stuff for us, for the town, for the information of the Poolesville commissioners. Terrible to hear about McDonald's, and that's not a surprise, I guess, but very, very difficult to hear. And the commissioners, we are definitely going to work on that as time goes on. Commissioners' reports. Alan, are you ready to rock and roll?
Ready to rock and roll. First of all, we did review 3 applicants for our empty slot that Gail Partain had left with, and the board voted and nominated an individual for the vacant position. We will talk about that during our new business here, so we can take a vote. Again, safety notes, I think we just covered majority of it with our police, the e-bikes, again, wanted to go through that, and continuing to work with the Upper Montgomery County Volunteer Fire Department on, we're getting closer on a heart safe community designation. Pulling some data on just AEDs, I mean, it's a lot more than I anticipated. I got to tell you, it's pretty unique.
You have to create like a registry system for people who are.
Yes, and we have to go out and almost do almost like a survey of how many people are CPR certified, and it's all about demographics, and we're a small community, so we're still going to need that certain percentage, and it's a lot. I mean, it's a couple thousand people, I think, actually, at the end of the day, out of.
I think we'll have it.
So, other than that, youth fishing tournament, I drove by on Saturday, and it was packed in my neighborhood, so that was good. Great turnout. I know that largest fish was caught was a channel catfish, which was pretty large, by a young little, the smallest and youngest little girl there. So she caught the biggest fish.
That's awesome.
But in the future, there'll be a future winners being named during a future meeting, so.
I have the stuff. We'll talk about it later.
Perfect. Town staff, again, crushing it out there with a lot of Wayland Commons, breaking down of Springfest, continued maintenance on our trees, cutting grass. Staff's just, peak season's coming here. It's going to be tough, and then obviously the summer heat is now upon us, I think, for a little bit. Parks look good. I got a little update for Niles and Preston relative to looking at a machine possibly for the parks for a demo. Last meeting, we talked about upgrading to some of the senior playground equipment discussion, which was introduced. Just got to go through some of the details of where and where we want to do it. Next meeting is June 3rd, which is going to be an earlier start at 6 o'clock, I think.
We're going to do a tour of some of the parks.
Tour of Dillingham, Brooks, Campbell, and Hoeing Parks. So, unfortunately, I'll be working remotely, but somebody can carry their phone with them, and we'll be good on that.
We'll get you in there.
Yeah, I know you will. I know you will. So, and then just, wanted to wish everybody a good Memorial Day weekend coming up, and, more to come after our next meeting.
Any further you want to, I know it's kind of dipping into fair access a little bit here, but do you want to have a conversation about the turf?
Sure, I'll talk about the turf. I mean, obviously, we've been, I've been advocating pretty hard for it. We've got a lot of support. We got, I believe, the funding approved through the last budget approval on Friday. Looks like we should be in good standing. Obviously, there's a lot more to go through with their final allocation process and where they're going to get the money, because MCPS was shortfall a little, for several $1 million. But again, I think we're good. It would be, again, a 27 project. lot of due diligence, a lot of work. So, but I appreciate all the town commissioners and Fair Access and everybody else to really support a cause that, is necessary just for the stadium field. We're not touching anything else. There's a lot of things that I'd like to do, still advocate for instance, extend irrigation out to the baseball and softball fields, but your grass, which I want. It's not, we're not changing any kind of other artificial turf surfaces. But other than that, I'm excited for everything that happened, but we still have a lot of work to do on it, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly, what was the percentage again that the turf field covers the ag reserve? What was the crazy?
Oh, I don't know, 0.00000000148%, something like that.
Okay, that's a difference maker.
It was the big number,
And how many other fields do we have in Poolesville that are grass?
Jeez, I'd have to.
100%.
Yeah.
I know, but like, how many?
If I broke it down, I know that just the stadium field, just to make it from our current Bermuda grass to turf, it's like 7.8% of the entire PHS campus of green space. I've literally done the square footages. So we're retaining.
Roughly a hair under 8% of the entire green space available, not building space, but green space
Correct.
on the
Green
PHS
space.
campus.
Every
20-something acres, what is it, how many?
34, yeah,
30, whatever
something like
it
a
is.
34.8, but, yeah, so it's a small percentage,
Right.
but it's the logistics part of continue to not have games canceled and everything.
sure, the impact.
Saving water is again another big one, saving 1 million gallons of water, and considering our drought situation now, is immense. But again, I've done my due diligence, the reports, the safety nets. I know there's some misleading information out there that are pro and very anti, and technology is catching up to the 2018 and 19 data, and it's only going to get higher. So, but
Appreciate all your hard work on that and leadership. It was,
Thank you.
it's intense, was intense, is intense, but it's so important for the community.
yeah, but I'm even keel. I'm even keel.
You don't stop. Okay, very good. Anything else, Alan, from anybody? Any questions for Alan? Commissioners, thanks again for standing up in terms of this fight and our unified approach to it. Brian?
Yeah.
Planning Commission?
Yep, last Wednesday, we had our scheduled planning commission meeting was canceled in favor of a open forum. We had a lot of feedback about the Cultural Arts District, as we expected. It was not very dissimilar to what we heard here. There are a couple new faces, but other than that, there wasn't anything new that I can remember that wasn't brought up in front of us. We did, as a board, as a commission, try to get some information out ahead of time so that it wasn't, so we could help kind of head off some of the misinformation. Wasn't marginally successful with that. We did get the information out. It wasn't really successful. So a lot of the same rhetoric had been repeated, and I get it. This is in no way derogatory. I think we need to do a better job of communicating that information and figuring out how it can be effective, to be able to have.
What pathways did you use to get it out?
We presented to them, and we made the material public in advance.
Presented it to them right before?
But anyway, and we were really trying to stay away from getting into a defensive position with the group, but I don't think
Yeah.
we were somewhat successful, but it weren't as successful as we were hoping. But I think it's time. It seems very emotional right now, and I think when we can get through some of the emotion and start having legitimate conversations, I think we'll see some progress. But no promise about what it's going to look like or if it'll ever come back here. We're very open to all kinds of different things. We will maintain our goals and objectives for that area, but we may have to find different ways ultimately.
Yeah.
Or maybe we can make this work in a similar state to where it is right now. We'll see.
Okay.
But that's where our focus on our next meeting will start on. We haven't laid out the agenda yet, but certainly Cultural Arts District will be part of it.
Appreciate the dedication, the effort, and again, as we've talked about offline and online, we have to be the stewards of the future of the town as well, not
Yep.
just the present. So thank you for putting your time and effort into it, as well as the visionary planning of the Planning Commission, the comprehensive plan developments in the past, and trying to stay true to that. That's a big process, and we don't want to be the ones that somehow negate the hard work that it takes to develop a comprehensive plan that was developed by our residents. So appreciate that, all that. Very good. You too?
Yes, okay. The final vote on the budget for the county council is May 21st. At this point, it looks like the 1.6 million for the design of the community center has been included. We're still following up on the funding for WUMCO and Poolesville seniors. On May 29th, Natalie Fanny Gonzalez and Sheber Evans are coming out to do our WUMCO tour and a discussion afterwards back at WUMCO. So everyone is invited to that. That's May 29th.
What, do we know what time?
Like
They're coming out at 10, and we'll do the tour.
10 a.m.?
Yes.
Back at WUMCO at 11 or so. And
Right.
I'm gonna make sure, I'll send a note out.
Like maybe like 10 to 12. Plan on 10 to 12,
And then
something like that.
11 to 12, you guys will be back there, we can all have a chat.
Right,
Okay.
good.
Great.
Fantastic. Thank you.
The last candidate forum that we have sponsored will be on May 27th, 6:30 at Town Hall. Those are for the
At-large candidates.
at-large, the other 8 or so. Yeah, the second half of the at-large candidates. Okay,
Including the Republican.
Yes, there is a Republican though.
okay,
And I've met him more than 3 times now, and he's definitely coming.
all right.
Good job.
And then finally, we've been working with the Farm View Montgomery agricultural producers and the ag department for the county and others to put together a dedication for the Farmers Appreciation Plaque, which is now on Wayland Commons. And that is scheduled for July 26th.
And with God willing and the creek don't rise, I won't be here, so we'll need one of us to, at least one of us to be there for it and also officiate alongside Link.
All right.
Very good. Is that it?
Yes. That's all I have right now.
Fantastic. Ed?
Yeah, mine's real simple. Sarah, Fair, I'm calling you Farrah, Sarah. Sarah has taken care of everything for the Fair Access
Okay, it's
Committee.
after 9.
It is after 9, but that part is covered. The other piece is the, for Sustainable Poolesville, the meeting is coming up on the 27th. And that's all we have to report right now.
Questions?
You said 27th?
It's Wednesday, the 27th.
Same as the at-large?
It'll be in that back conference room. Now, I'm going to follow up on what I missed from that meeting because I was attending.
You can, yeah, okay.
And then I am in the I'm signing, I'll go, I think Sarah's going to go also to the June 3rd multi-chamber event. So I just signed up.
I should do that too. What time is that?
Sign up on the chamber page.
Yeah, on the chamber page. It's from 5 to 7:30.
Okay.
June 3rd.
Thank you.
So you got to go to the chamber page and
Yep.
go to their events.
What was the other day, the 26th? For,
27th for,
yeah.
same night as the forum, and what is it? What are we doing? What's happening that night? You guys are doing the,
Sustainable Poolesville.
The 27th at 6:30 at Town Hall. That's the second half of the
yeah, at-large forum.
at-large
Yeah.
county
Right.
council forum.
But there's something else you guys doing, something else happening that day.
Oh, no, the Sustainable Poolesville has their meeting.
July 26th? I think
No.
maybe you're mixing up May 27th,
May,
July 26th.
May 27th.
That's it, just Sustainable
That's it.
Poolesville
That's all
and
I have on that
at-large.
day.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. All right, very good, guys. Mine's easy too. You know, Link and I were asked to comment on the Maryland Agricultural Reserve Economic Study. We both submitted some testimony on that. We will share that if you guys haven't seen it already. I think Link shared his. And also, too, we were, Dave Frizzo-Dago, Gabe Albernaz, Link, myself, we were supposed to meet to have further discussions on how to move the pool bubble along from the county's perspective, and that meeting got canceled, but we are rescheduling it. Dave's very concerned about the money not hanging around as long as it takes to get it done. We want to try to get Gabe Albernaz has been very helpful from an insider perspective in the past, Director of Recreation now. So, we're really going to be just trying to grind away at it. I'll let you guys know when we're doing it. And, at least one of you all is going to be welcome to attend. So I'll let you know when that is. And that's all I have for now. I'm sure I forgot something, but that's all I have. Yes?
Thursday, the 28th is HMD 150.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've
Ballot
responded to
56.
that, right.
Yep.
You need to RSVP to it if you haven't already. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's at Valley Cliff.
Yep.
At 6
Yep.
o'clock.
I'll
Yep.
be there.
Okay, good, yeah, me too. Good. All right, fantastic. That sounds good. Appreciate the reminder. No other public comment for now. Approval of the minutes for May 4th, 2026. Need a motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Motion made by Brian for approval of the minutes, May 4th, 2026. Do we have a second?
A second.
Oh,
Second from Ed, yes.
I wasn't here, I can't make that motion.
I'm sorry about that. Very good. Resend
I'll
that.
make the motion.
Ed has
first.
made the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Alan as the backup. Appreciate it. Motion made for approval of the minutes, seconded by Alan. All in favor of approval of the minutes, May 4th, 2026 of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain?
Me.
401 for approval of the minutes. Niles. New business, appointment of the Parks and Streets Board.
Yes, so, and that's just when my computer went blank. So the Parks and Streets Board, at their meeting, nominated Tracy Bordeaux to fill Gail Partain's position. We had 3 candidates who applied, and this would be the term, and it would begin, it's a 4-year term for the committee. It would start effective at the June meeting.
So Gail resigned at the end of her term, as per
Correct.
the end of her term? Okay, very good. Opted not to run again.
Yeah.
Not resign.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that. Parks Board, any comments on that?
No, it was a, thorough process that we followed and voted and.
Very good. No openings on any boards as we speak?
No.
Very good. All right, so that we need to make an motion for the appointment of, what's the candidate's name?
Tracy Bodo.
Yep. Tracy Bodo.
Okay, one of you guys.
I'll make a motion to approve the nomination for the Parks Board of Tracy Bodo.
Motion made by Brian. Do we have a second?
A second.
Any other questions? All those in favor of the motion for the appointment, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? Consider her appointed. Now's you're going to alert her to the
Yes.
fact that she's on board.
I feel like this is the first time I've ever nominated somebody with a PhD.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I read her application.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you guys that was a great choice.
Yep.
So, good job.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Lucky to have her.
I only missed 7 years of college for my PhD.
Oh, okay. You were almost there.
I was right around the corner from it. And my master's. All right, very good. Appreciate that. All right, old business, standards for official conduct, ordinance number 230. Niles, you want to give us a lead up?
Yes, so we've discussed this a few different times, and Kevin at the last time gave an overview of his changes. What you have before us includes all of those changes. If you'd like Kevin to give a brief summary or go into any particular detail, he's available to do that.
So Kevin, I know that we were operating off the wrong draft last go-around. I think everybody's had a chance to review the current draft, which is it would be the ordinance that if we decide to vote on it tonight, that's the one that we're going to be looking at. Any other changes or questions to it? Anything you want to introduce after the last go-around? Again, it was confusing, but we did sort it out that we didn't have the right one. And we've had the other one in our hands now for several days, and I'm hoping all the commissioners had a chance to read it and go through it. Kevin, it's all yours if you have anything.
Well, I will say that, I don't want to beat a dead horse. Been talking about this for a long time. This particular ordinance, I think it will pass judicial scrutiny. I think it's a decent ordinance. It is narrow because it's confined to just appointed officials. There was a question that you posed, Mr. President. You said, what if an official stands on a soapbox in his or her backyard and uses obscenities or vulgarities or vents grievances if the audience is small and private and it's only projected to friends and family? Is that an issue? Would that be governed by this ordinance? The answer is, no, this ordinance would not reach that scenario. The appointed official can stand in his own backyard on a soapbox, use obscenities, vulgarities, vent purely private grievances to a small private audience like friends and families, and it's not prohibited by the ordinance. Furthermore, one of the commissioners talked about forum analysis. This is not a case about forum jurisprudence. It does not regulate government spaces and where people make comments in government spaces typically. Although it can have that reach, it has much broader reach than that. And basically, there's a three-part test, which is the guts of the ordinance in section C. And, basically, if there's no nexus, no connection to official duties, it's not mixed with public and town matters, if the official's not acting in an identifiable capacity, and there's no disruption to town business, it's out of reach of this ordinance. And section E5 clearly states that although not encourage purely private use slurs or profanities with no nexus or impact to the town's business or workplace environment are not regulated or forbidden under the scope of this section, even if the speech is visible or perceived by a limited number of the public. It's only when there's a detrimental impact, and one of the main reasons why this ordinance was put together is because you had a town official who posted their bio that they're a town official on the website and used some very, very offensive vulgarities toward federal officials. So, and under no instance, I think that the commissioners would prosecute and either suspend or remove from office a town appointed official unless, of course, you have due process, you have a hearing, and you have legal counsel present. So it's going to have to be a very clear situation that they've damaged the government some way, caused some sort of disruption to the provision of municipal services, or their language caused something that was very detrimental to the workplace or the boards and committees that these people serve on. So if there's no other questions, that's all I have to say about this ordinance.
Right, and the only other point of clarity that I asked for today was just to re-clarify and make sure everybody knows that the charter deals with the elected officials and potentially our damaging speech that has its own process. That has already been addressed. That does not need to be a part of this, nor was it ever intended to be a part of this ordinance. So, Kevin made that very clear in his various drafts of this. So, that's all the questions I had. To the rest of the board, do you have questions for it? For Kevin, you have questions on the ordinance, et cetera. I am prepared to ask for a motion when the time comes, but I do want to hear from the commissioners if there's more conversation to be had. The room is silent.
And it feels like we got it to the right place. I was a little uncomfortable with some of the language at the beginning,
My
but.
questions have all been answered. I appreciate that this is a much more limited and
Arrow.
specific scope.
Yep.
It feels like it balances the what we were going for as a town in terms of like some pathway to address issues if they ever arose, while also respecting an individual's right to
Free
have
speech.
their own
Yeah.
opinions and express them.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not really, I think you're using the right word, pathway, versus even guardrails. It's a pathway. And I agree with you, and I appreciate the hard work Kevin's put into it, town staff. It really, it doesn't feel great to have to do this, but at the same time, it did help point out that there's been an opening, a hole in our game. And it's proper for us to consider a way to deal with that, so.
Yeah, and I like the word pathways. I think it's a pathway to keep all of us, those who are voted in and those who are appointed in, so that we all are held to a standard
Yeah.
that's necessary, without violating anyone's First Amendment.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And I would think, again, the extra couple months that it took us to get the
Yes.
detail was worth it. And again, I think it's something that's probably one of the stronger ordinances that we have. And, even through all the municipalities, But I've read it several times, and, you know, again, it's clear and concise, and, you know, very much appreciated from the time, because it was a lot of time invested into this. So, thank you.
Huge issue. It could be if it was not handled correctly either,
Yep.
so. All right, very good. If not any other commentary, could we get a motion from somebody for the approval of the ordinance number 230, standards for official conduct? Someone.
I'd like to make a motion for approval of ordinance number 230.
Got it. Motion made by Alan for ordinance number 230, standards for official conduct. Do we have a second?
I'll second his motion.
Second from Ed. Any other commentary, questions, discussion? Appreciate all the good commissioner vibes back and forth on this. All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? None? Motion carries. Ordinance number 230 is in effect. Kevin, thanks for your hard work, and thanks for hanging in there tonight for us. Appreciate it. Wade, you too as well. Town managers report. Niles.
Yes, so we have a couple of things to report on. First, going back to the fishing tournament, we had 33 kids show up. Of the 33, the largest group was 9 to 11-year-olds. Some of the older kids we didn't have many of due to conflicts with baseball and soccer, but it couldn't be avoided. The overall winner was Skylar Librand. She caught a 23.5-inch catfish. Big catfish.
Wow.
And there was other prizes for second and third place. And we had an overall great turnout and a great time. So I think it was a good event. And then, so just going through a few projects right now. The PFAS projects, so the wells 2 and 3 and the water line project for Westerly. We're still waiting for the Board of Public Works at the state to process the funds for that. And then with the well centralization, we're still designing, and in that stage, that'll be a future project. The road paving project, we met with the contractor today. Notice to proceed was issued, and we're going to have a schedule. We will actually be posting it, similar to what we did with the Cohos water line project, because it will be the same areas like the parking lots and things like that. So we're going to be, there'll be a lot of notice and a lot of time spent trying to get people to understand when to move their cars and when not. The flag redesign committee met last week. They have 3 designs that they're going to present to you. There's some tweaks that they wanted done, so we're getting that feedback from the designer, and then at the next meeting, we'll have them for you. The water withdrawal permits are still with MDE. Once completed, hydrologist Kathy Mim will come back and discuss the results, and then future well development, which is something that we talked about in the past. The streetscape project, the 90% plans were completed at the end of last week. We are working to review those, get a quick turnaround to those, so that we can get it all buttoned up by July 1st, so that the federal review can happen in order to get this process moving in the fall. Those were the main things I had. Do we have anything else? Okay, then I think we're good for the manager's report.
Thank you. Wade, listen, we've watched Niles deteriorate over the course of this meeting, so you're on standby tomorrow. Slow down as the meeting's gone on. I don't blame you, Niles. It's been, you've been waiting patiently. So yeah, be on the on-deck circle for
Mainly, I
tomorrow.
just don't want my cough on the mic.
That's nice. That's very generous of you. That's good. Yeah, Link or I will probably be the next ones over there, so let's not do that. What's that? You're good? Oh, okay, yeah, gotcha. All right, very good. So that's it for the town manager's report. Ginny, you came back. Do you want to have some testimony? We're all here.
If that would be all right.
Yes, come on, let's do it.
Thanks for coming back.
I appreciate that, because it's just a question that I have.
Sure.
So at the end of what I was speaking about, I ended with how I didn't feel like anybody up here could ever get reelected again if we had, a dispensary in town. I mean, it was just kind of off the cuff, but I'm serious. And she finished up with that about how the town has no choice in the matter, that something to the effect of, because you're changing the zoning, the state of Maryland insists that we have it in there, is that
So it
correct?
has nothing, yeah.
So just to clarify, yeah, so the state passed a law that allows for cannabis dispensaries in the state. In it, it said certain things like we couldn't put on greater regulations or zoning regulations than we would for a regular business, outside of doing specific things. So I sent you the ordinance that the town passed.
I'm sorry, I haven't had a chance.
No, that's okay. Don't worry about that. You can read it and then we can talk more. But specifically, the state law does allow us to put distance requirements. So from churches, schools, daycares, parks, other things like that. So those are incorporated into our ordinance and to make sure that
Yeah, I get.
certain things are respected.
Miles, could you mute Wade? I think there's just feedback.
Yeah. Wade, do you mind muting yourself for a second? Because it's feeding back through you.
Okay, so, but what I didn't understand that I thought she said was that because we're changing the zoning.
No.
We have to include it.
No. We had to previously amend our code. So the cannabis thing was separate from anything that's happening currently. We've previously already changed the code.
So it's already in it.
Correct, for cannabis.
So a cannabis dispensary, it's already
Permitted.
able to,
Potentially able to.
okay.
That being said, there are practical reasons why it would not be
No,
viable
I
in
know,
town.
I understand that. I just didn't want to say anything to anybody, you know. It was tongue in cheek what I.
Yes.
You know.
No.
But, but I did believe it. If anybody tried to open up a cannabis store, I mean, the people would blame the commissioners for it.
So I think it's important too, just to clarify, that the commissioners have no authority to overrule the state.
Right.
And so that piece will be helpful, so that communication goes out, that the commissioners lack the authority to overrule the state.
Right.
And even though, regardless of our personal feelings about
You can't drive in it.
cannabis
Too small.
dispensaries, is that, as Niall said.
Yeah, I get
we
that.
have limited, we're limited at what we can do, and so I'm pretty confident that this group here would make sure we would do the
Right,
distance.
and our attorney has looked into that, and there's
Yeah,
no
and
way
it-
we can,
That's the whole.
It was originally the ordinance text, which you'll look at, was originally vetted by the previous town attorney, Jay Gullo, but by the town attorney.
and like, our attorney couldn't say anything to the state, like, we don't want this in here, and you
That's-
can't make us do
Yeah,
it?
that's not really how these type of provisions
I
work.
mean, we are our own town, we should
Well,
be
here-
able to say that.
Here's the one thing, if we were to do that, that's a lawsuit that we would lose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. That's really all I wanted cleared up.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's already in there, so it's
Yep.
not like, all right, thank you.
Thanks for coming and asking.
You weren't thinking of opening one up, were you? Okay, very
I
good.
make a
Thank you.
motion we adjourn.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying. Motion by Brian, second, Ed for adjournment. Any other questions? Anything else? Anybody?
We're adjourned.
No? More Parks report? No?
What about the second tier, but we're good.
All in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? None? We're adjourned. Thank you, staff.
Catfish fry and some crabs.
You're hungry too. You didn't get